Hi guys, I just wanted to connect with you about Pisces season. We have a new moon in Pisces coming up on Wednesday, March 2nd. And I'm just gonna talk a little bit about what's been going on in the astrology and kind of update you to maybe the deep feels you might have been going in. You guys can totally see my feet back here. I hope that doesn't bother you. So Pisces is the end of the zodiac. So it's a natural time for all signs to wrap things up from the previous cycle, finish projects, look forward to a new astrological year, which does start in April, and everyone will naturally feel that. Technically, the first day of spring, March 21st. But Pisces is also a lot about clearing things out, letting go of things. And this year, especially because we just had a huge 40-day tango with Venus retrograde and Capricorn, and Venus and Mars dancing around with Pluto. So there's a lot of just guck that we're all clearing out right now to make way for the spring, for the new year. And this year it's especially important to do the Pisces work because as spring arrives, as Jupiter and Neptune, and of course right now the sun is still in Pisces, all of that will be going into Aries. And so the work that you literally do now on clearing out the old, clearing out just everything from the old cycle, letting things go, getting in touch with your inner self, getting in touch with God and the places that you resonate with, your guides, your angels, just really finding the quiet time to do that kind of work, to look back at the things that have gone on in the past year and to look forward for the future. It's really going to benefit you this year. You have the opportunity this year, especially during Pisces season, with Jupiter there, with Neptune there, with the sun now shining its light there right now, to get in touch with your divine self, to get in touch with the truth that is the truth inside you, the truth that you don't need to prove to anybody else, the truth that you just know in your heart. Now, right now, Jupiter is actually, it's called being combust by the sun. So things might be a little bit not as optimistic as they were, but the sun is going to join with Jupiter. And that's going to bring light to the growth and expansion that you have coming towards you. And we all have that opportunity, but we do have to clear out, you got to clear out the muck, which is why it's a natural time every spring during Pisces season where people start clearing out their houses, wrapping up old projects, starting new cycles. There's going to be a lot of new paths started this week with the new moon on March 2nd. There's going to be a lot of actually taking step towards your dreams with Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces right now, and believing in yourself enough to know that, it might be a step-by-step process, but this is the year that people actually feel like they can actually attain their higher dreams. And I'm going to tell you that that's the magic of this new moon, to know that the dreams that you're feeling, the dreams that maybe no other time in your life you've allowed yourself to believe you can actually attain, you actually can. And if you just put faith in that, things will start coming, giving you signs, coming towards you, telling you that you're being led on the right path. can totally see my self in my glasses. I hope that's not bothering you guys. So I'm going to go do a quick rundown of where the new moon is for all the signs, and kind of talk about any other planets that we have going on. I have a chart of the moment, like to my left here. So I'm just going to go through that real quick. So for Pisces, you guys are concentrating with the sun in your sign. And this is for sun, moon, and rising, of course. If you're concentrating on your sun sign, it'll be the actions that you're taking in life, kind of the what you're doing in the physical realm, the things, the projects, the things that you're striving for. If it's your moon, it can be your emotional status or your physical environment, such as your home or your family that you come from. And of course, if it's your rising sign, it is the steer boat of the ship, and it will resonate most with your rising sign, because that's a very narrow window, whereas with moon changes every 2.5 days, and the sun, of course, changes every 28 to 30 days. So there we go. So Pisces sun, moon, or rising, right now you are concentrating a lot on yourself, on the ways that you can expand, and also the things that you're actually now seeing yourself being able to dream about. It's for Pisces, it's your season, so it's all about how you're stepping out in the world, how you're showing up. You know, Pisces has had it kind of rough in the past year, but it's everyone has faced the same confusion that Pisces has faced the same, you know, being kind of swimming between worlds, I guess you would say. So Pisces, right now, it's your time to actually expand, to actually like come out of your shell. I feel like a lot of Pisces are doing a lot more talking. They're seeing where not talking or we're holding back has been, you know, keeping them from going forward towards their own success. You guys have Mercury in your 12th house right now with Saturn. And the more you stay inside, you know, your own personal mind, the more you're not speaking up, the more you're, you know, staying in your little safe Pisces places. Although a lot of times that's super, super good for you. You guys do need to disconnect because you do collect everybody's energy. You are seeing where, you know, not speaking your mind, not exposing yourself, not getting out in the world is really holding you back. You just had Venus and Mars go through your house of friendships, larger groups, people that benefit you. So there could have been some change around that. And Uranus is in your 3rd house of contracts right now, neighborhoods, siblings. So you can see a lot of changes going on in those realms as well, Pisces. But the sun is going to unite with Jupiter, and that's going to bring some truth. The sun is going to light up Jupiter and bring some truth about, you know, yourself, your environment, your actions, and where you can, you know, be clearer to bring that forward. Jupiter is a house of relationship, a house of parenting, or planet of that represents parenting, and it also represents your gifts that you bring out and give freely to the world. Jupiter isn't afraid to hold back with things, isn't afraid to share his gifts and what he has with everyone around them. So, you know, if you have gifts that you've been holding back, it's really the time to set your intentions on Wednesday to bring your gifts that you might want to keep hidden, to bring them out into the world, because it's not only going to, you know, benefit others, it's also going to benefit you and kind of, allow you to open up and, you know, have people see your strangeness as really a gift. Yeah, from the divine. There may have been a lot of people just really confused about who you are for the last I don't know, 10 years. So now's your time to show them, Pisces. It's going to be great. Aries, you got a lot of focus on the 12th house right now, the house of hidden places, which is probably why I'm an Aries sun, and I am recording this for you in my living room, feeling safe and comfy on my couch. I have some theta wave music playing. So Aries, really right now you're encouraged to see what you're doing that is also holding you back. You're encouraged to take the time with yourself. And I think Aries naturally during Pisces season kind of hermit a little bit more, kind of go behind the scenes, because it's usually a natural time to kind of rejuvenate, cleanse everything, but more of a physical and mental cleansing for the Aries. I just had one of my Aries friends say, I just don't want to be around people right now. And I'm like, pfft. And she's really usually extroverted. And I'm like, oh, that's natural. You're an Aries sun, and it's time to kind of bring all of that fire back, fire babies, and kind of just do comfort right now. Doing that, you could also, reach into those realms with Neptune and Jupiter in your 12th house of just, being in touch with the messages that you're getting from your guides, being in touch with your spiritual self. If you are looking outwardly for answers right now, Aries, you're just going to face confusion. If you're looking for answers from other people, if you're looking for answers about your path from anyone besides yourself, that is really going to be your downfall right now. So one step at a time. You got a lot of stuff going on up in that 12th house, but with the sun there, you're actually going to be able to see it. And I can guarantee you've got this. You're clearing everything out until Jupiter comes into Aries sign for Aries season, which is, I'm going to do things my own way. Like it's going to be super invented. Nikola Tesla actually had Jupiter in Aries. So, for all signs, that's going into the spring, finding yourself through this time of, taking time for you and being refreshed and renewed and strong enough to go ahead with that. Taurus, you have, Pisces season is running a little trifecta gamut on your 11th house. So that is the house of benefactors, your house of groups that you belong to, your house of friends. So you could really be expanding who you're hanging out with right now, the organizations that you belong to, the groups that you belong to. Pisces does rule the media. You could be speaking out to people online, getting more attention, putting yourself more out there online, and in a very free-flowing Pisces sense. I think you've been holding back in that area for a long time. And, with Uranus in your sign too, being indicative of the internet and tech and innovation, I really feel like you guys have done a lot of work, Tauruses, through the last year and a half. And I feel like you're strong and you kind of know where you're going right now, and you know where you're going enough to, kind of be open to new possibilities in new total groups for yourself. And that's a beautiful thing. So really go into that. Some of you could actually be finding relationships through your friend groups, or finding long-term partnerships through your organizations right now. People that benefit you could benefit you actually in your career house. So I encourage you to go into that. For our Geminis, first of all, this is all of this Pisces is in your house of career, and that could be something that's been dynamically changing for the last couple of years for you, or you could have had some confusion as to where you were going in your career. It's also your house of parenting and public reputation. So with Jupiter there and Neptune in such a significant house, people could have had a hard time seeing you, and you could have actually added to that confusion. by the words that you said, with just I'm noting how Aquarius is a 12 Mercury in Aquarius right now is in the 12th house to Pisces. So it could have been words that you used, it could have been your actual behavior. But right now, you know, the sun is with Jupiter and Neptune, you really have the opportunity to show people who you are, show, you know, be very giving and open. Jupiter and Neptune are very, if you use them in with the highest intent, are very beautiful, psychic, intuitive, giving, nurturing planets to have in your 10th house. So you could, you know, really be moved to, you know, want to let go of the past, want to change an old cycle, and want to go more towards that into the future. And with the sun there, you know, I do feel like a lot of attention is being put on your career house, like how others see you in the world, your parenting, things from your parents, your relationships with Jupiter there as well, your relationship to your home life versus your work life, and how, you know, that's working out for you. Now I got something for Geminis this recently that I actually had a Gemini ask me for reading, and what came up for me right away is that the Geminis might be making choices that people don't understand or accept. But it's super important that if you're feeling driven to do something, that you definitely do it if it's in your heart. And don't worry about people being surprised. But at the same time, you know, you have Uranus in the 12th house from you. So make sure that you're just living in integrity, and saying what you mean, you know, in an open manner, using your words. You're ruled by Mercury, using your words in integrity. And then, you know, people might be upset with what you're doing or the different path that you're going towards right now. But at the same time, if you say it with integrity, if you say it with sincerity, like, it's going to be accepted, and you just need to trust that. So that's an amazing spot to be, Geminis. Cancerians, you have Pisces right now in your 9th house. So that would be, you know, the house of travel, the house of, it's called God's house traditionally. The house, so in your 9th house of benefactors, it could be like law or legalities that you're really focusing on right now, like paperwork, people that benefit you, things that benefit you, really looking at, you know, your hopes and dreams for the future, what you want for yourself, and letting go of the things that have held you back in that area, that have held you back from what you truly want, in your heart going forward. The 9th house is, you know, traditionally Sagittarius's house. So it's what we want, what we know is good for us, what we want to strive for. With Sagittarius's, or in Sagittarius's house, I believe if we're not striving for something better for ourselves, we can get down into the dumps. So I feel like Cancerians, you could have really been having a hard time with it lately. And I'm sure it's been a little confusing with everybody around you having a lot of energy to go towards their dreams, with Mars opposite your sign, and with Venus opposite your sign. You know, everyone around you has been going through like a deep introspection, and then going towards things. And now's your time. Like, now is your time. With Jupiter in your 9th house of hopes and dreams, and also with Neptune in there, like, allow yourself to dream something that's not possible. Like, don't be held back with what you think others will think of you. Because you have Jupiter going to Aries next, which would be your 10th house. So you're going to have an opportunity to do things in a different way. And I encourage you to really, you know, clear out the gut, clear out the tasks that you have left, clear out the old contracts, the old commitments, like any educational things that you need to wrap up, any kind of old contracts. You guys could even be moving right now. You know, getting that all free and clear is really going to open you up into the spring and into amazing possibilities. Leos, we have Pisces right now going literally through your eighth house of endings. So I feel like Leos are probably feeling Jupiter in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces and the sun concentrating on Pisces a whole a lot stronger than other signs. You guys could have had literally deaths in your family. Jupiter does represent the parents. So with the parents in Pisces in the eighth house, you guys could have had actual deaths of your parents, or just, you know, deaths of benefactors around you. Looking at, you know, it's also the place of other people's money. Perhaps you are moving away and becoming more independent in financial places right now, Leo. And I super encourage you to do that, because it's just going to give you the strength, wrapping up all those old things, wrapping up all of the things that you kind of need to put a rest to, or find some peace within yourself about all the endings that have happened to you over the past year, is really just going to clear the way for Jupiter going into Aries, where you're able to, you know, kind of strive for bigger things, strive for, you know, possibly new places to live, new educational conquests, new travels, new spirituality, new benefactors, new places where you can benefit other people. So that's really an amazing thing. Perhaps learning things about foreign places or foreign cultures, and just kind of getting yourselves into the mix. I think with Leos, you've had Saturn opposite your sign for a really long time. And it could literally feel, and most likely is feeling like the old structures, or, you know, the elders in your life are against you. But let me assure you, Leos, this is just a time that you know, you're going through these rumbles so that you can come out on top. And Jupiter, after it moves through Pisces, is moving into Aries. And with the Aries season, you know, the energies are going to be trining. It's gonna moving through all these endings for you, clearing out, wrapping up what you need to, finding peace in the things that have lost, and looking forward to what is ahead for you is going to benefit you greatly. Yeah, and hopefully we'll see the smile and the heart back into the Leos in our lives again. Virgos, the Pisces stellium is happening in your 7th house. So right now, literally, you most likely, being a Virgo, are seeing a lot of things. You're probably helping a lot of people with things right now. It's probably feeling a little bit crazy. Like there's a lot to do. You have Mercury and Saturn in your house of day-to-day service that you give to people. And you've had Venus and Mars in your 5th house of creativity, love relationships, children, pets. So you've had a lot going on in that in the 7th house and below. So you've been doing a lot of work, Virgos. Right now, I think that you're seeing an expansion. Like, you can feel an expansion coming when it comes to your relationships, to the people you have contracts with. You could literally be, you know, making new contracts with people in Pisces season. Now, the new moon on Wednesday indicates a new time for you, like a new cycle being born, with just all new people and all new situations. You could be changing jobs right now, literally. You could be finding new creative projects, and letting go and tying up all the things from the past, and kind of looking back at the past year for you is really going to help you move forward. It's just like a super busy time for Virgos with all that stuff in their 7th house, and plus having Chiron in Aries in the 8th house. There's been a lot of pain for Virgos. There's been a lot of pain and endings. And Chiron's a wounded warrior. So just looking at all the things that you've went through, all the endings that you've went through, and how you're still, you know, walking through it. You're still on your 2 feet and you're still able to get up every morning. Just finding a space for that, a real heart space for yourselves, because Virgos rarely take time for themselves to do actual me time will benefit you. Virgos, right now you have so many people that are willing to give you the help that you always give everyone else. I invite you to open up to that, because people see what a natural healer you are to everybody else. And right now, if you need help, if you ask for it, you're going to get it. So I super encourage you to do that. Jupiter will be moving into your 8th house soon. So that could actually be benefiting you. You could actually be receiving some kind of, 8th house is also other people's money. So you could be receiving some kind of inheritance or insurance payouts, or of course taxes. But actually you're going to be receiving benefits from what you've given other people, and what, you know, the universe will now give back to you because you've given so much. So that's a beautiful thing, Virgo. Oh, the lovely Libras. What do we have going on for you? Okay, so right now we have a stellium in your 6th house, which is the house of health, the house of day-to-day activities, what you do on a day-to-day basis, and also your house of service. So I do feel like you guys are having a new birth and a new aspect and a new clear vision with the sun in that house on, you know, what you do on a day-to-day basis that benefits your health. Pisces can be a house of sickness. So if any Libras out there have been sick, you most likely know by now that you do need to take the time for yourself every day, as well, to kind of be able to serve everybody else. And most likely you have a ton of things going on with Jupiter in that house right now, a ton of day-to-day activities, but day-to-day activities that are going to bring good into your life, because Jupiter is going into your 7th house of contracts with other people. So you could be working, getting everything finished, getting things from the past year cleared up right now, so that you can start, you know, making these connections with people, making these connections with the collective, making these new artistic projects, you know, that are just going to be uniquely yours right now. So that's a beautiful thing. You guys have had Saturn and Mercury in your 5th house of creativity. So I do feel like you guys have started a new creative project. Perhaps this is something that just came, you know, to you through some kind of crisis with Mercury ruling your 12th house, or just, you know, finding that you do need that creative outlet to be steady within yourselves. But anything you create right now, Libras, is going to have long-term benefits with you, with Saturn in your 5th house. You guys are creating something that's going to benefit you in the long run, that's going to benefit your home life, bringing stability to that, which has been shaken up a lot in the last couple of years. It's just going to be a beautiful thing. You're probably most likely going to find out some truth about where you should concentrate your day-to-day activities, or how you can streamline your day-to-day activities when the sun meets up with Jupiter this month. But Jupiter is beneficial to you. Jupiter is it expands what's ever there. So if you're feeling off kilter, Libras, make sure to make the time for yourself, and making the time for yourself is going to, really benefit you exponentially, because Jupiter expands whatever it touches. With Neptune there, I suggest you not fall in with Neptune and Jupiter in your house of health. I suggest you not fall into the trap of like drunken Santa on the beach is what I like to call it, and not go too much into the, I guess, Neptune type activities, um, which only really cover up pain. Now, if you're doing it for fun and for like recreation, all for it, because Sagittarius is your third house, which also rules Jupiter, and that's all about communication and friends, and if you're doing it to loosen up your work life in a social healthy manner, then all for it. That's just going to help you. Scorpios, you have Jupiter going through your fifth house of love, relationships, creativity, children right now. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So and Jupiter is a very noble sign, and Neptune has the ability to be a higher type of love, like a godly type of love. So right now, Scorpios, you might actually be focusing a lot on your relationships. It could also be a pet house if you treat your pets like your children. So children, creative projects, love partners, fun. It's Leo's house. So I feel like you guys are really concentrating on how you can bring more fun and lightness into your life. Now with Neptune there's most likely been a lot of confusion in that area lately. Neptune, can cause confusion if you're listening to anybody but yourself. Like if you're listening to gossip or the media or anything like that, it can bring a ton of confusion with it. But I really think that you guys have been looking over what you value lately, as everybody has, with Venus and Mars going through Capricorn, and Pluto there as well. So I think you guys will be starting a new cycle on your relationships with your children, your relationships with your own creativity, your own creative projects, and your love relationships, and what you want those to look like in the long term. Really what you value that as, what relationships bring value to you, what are you doing to bring value to your relationships, and really opening up with that. You have Mercury right now in your fourth house, so you could be having a lot of communication with family members from your original family line, mothers, or children in home, or finding where communicating on what makes home to you. But you guys have a transit coming up where you'll be going into a place where you're doing more things on a day-to-day basis. So I encourage you to get these areas stable now, because you're going to be getting busy in Aries season. Aries season in the spring is all about what you do on a day-to-day basis. You could be getting new jobs coming up. You could be serving, showing your talents off more, serving other people. So I just really encourage you to set up the foundations for that now, and the old cycles that you need to let go of when it comes to relationships that just aren't a good fit for you anymore and aren't benefiting you in the long run. If you have toxicity in your relationships, or friends or love interests that don't support the best things for you, now's the time to wish them well and just let them go. All right, Saggies, you have all this energy of Pisces going on in your fourth house of home and your fourth house of your actual family home and, you know, how you make your family home for yourself. So you could have had a lot of confusion going on around people in your family, or actually a lot of expansion going on in your family as well. Maybe you guys are doing renovations. Maybe you guys are actually building a bigger home base or having more babies. Like, we're not sure. But, you know, you guys are really, with Jupiter and Neptune there, I think you're really getting in touch with how your home being stable really benefits the entire rest of your life. How your home being flowing and the energy being flowing, with Pisces being your fourth house, really just, you know, sets up your whole life. And for Sagittarius is, you know, your 10th house is Virgo. You're out there helping people every day. You're out there, you know, defending those less fortunate than you. You're out there, you know, healing. So you really need a healing home environment for yourself as well. When you guys don't have that, everything gets just so off kilter for you. You are going to have Jupiter transiting through the spring, through your fifth house of creativity, fun, children, just creative projects. So I really feel like, you know, the stability that you're building in your home right now, Sagittarius, is the any toxicity from the past, anything that is entering your house and making it, you know, seem like too much, get rid of that now so you're ready for the spring, the new astrological new year and Aries season, because you guys are going to take off. With Jupiter in your fifth house, it's like, I'm doing things the way that I want to do them, and I am having fun the way that I want to have it, and you guys are really going to be stable with that. You're going to have a lot of stability with that, so that's a beautiful thing. Cappies, you guys are having the Pisces stellium go through your third house. So this could be, you know, really looking at how you communicate, how you write, anything going on with siblings or with any kind of family members that aren't your mom or dad. You know, any kind of things there. Neptune's there, and Neptune can sometimes signify deceit or confusion. So you've probably had some confusion around paperwork, speech, some kind of writing. With Jupiter there, if you are living in your integrity, Capricorns, and speaking truthfully and not trying to deceive anybody, things are going to work out well, and you're going to be able to see into the future a little bit more. I feel like this has been a confusing house for you for quite a while now. It could also be third house also signifies your immediate neighborhood, what you could do for work, like your own, what you bring to work, your own skills. So I feel like Capricorns, you're really focusing on that right now, focusing on ending old cycles in that area and starting up new ones. You could literally be kind of rebooting your relationships with siblings, rebooting your relationships with family members that aren't your mom or dad. And the third house is also traditionally ruled by Mercury, maybe reestablishing communication with children as well. So that's a beautiful thing. You guys have had Venus and Mars in your house. And it's been a little dance, you know, you figuring out what you value, what's good for you, what's not good for you, and what you need for the long term. You also have Mercury in your second house of your money. So you could have gotten news recently about where your money stands, and with Saturn there, you know, anything you and decisions you make around money and what you do for the groups around you, for the collective and yourself, is really important right now. Saturn, it will have long lasting implications. So you're not just working for yourselves right now, Capricorn, you're working for the group. So that is a beautiful thing. You've had Chiron in your fourth house of home. for a while now. So you've had some hurts when it comes to your home life, things that have happened concerning that. And the best thing is right now is to be introspective, to see where you can move on from that and really start a new cycle with the Pisces new moon on Wednesday. Set your intentions to communicate better, to maybe communicate at all, but to communicate from a heart space with Pisces, to communicate from a true space, to be totally open and vulnerable, because that's what's going to get you ahead in this area. So that's a beautiful thing. Aquas, Aquarius, you've got the Pisces stellium in your second house, which of course is the house of how you make money, your immediate environment, and just what you value. So I feel like you are really getting aligned and seeing through the confusion on what is valuable to you, what you're willing to give up in order to have the things that are valuable to you. And you guys might actually be reconfiguring your home life, or reconfiguring the things you spend money on in order to have more around you of what you value. With Jupiter also ruling your house of groups and associations, I feel like you could be possibly looking to join new groups, or finding collaborators that help you along the path of how you earn money, or what you receive. Right now it's a beautiful time to be an aqua, because not only do you have Saturn in your house, which of course has meant that you have had to show up consistently for a while now, but you're almost to the end of that, like this old hat for you now. But you're also being benefited by Jupiter in your second house. You could actually receive the financial gains of that in money that in stability that you've built in yourself, and stability that you've built to kind of know which way to go, to kind of know which way is best for you, and receiving financial and spiritual gain because of that. So that's a beautiful thing, Aquarius. You have the sun in your house right now, in your second house right now. So a lot of focus is on, your financial aspects, and how that benefits you, and how you can benefit other people around you, with growing that section. You could actually be valuing a spiritual path, perhaps right now more than a financial path, but opening up to that spiritual path is going to put you on the road to better finances in the future. All right, you guys, that's what I have to say about Pisces season. As I'm sitting in my little Pisces relaxation place right now. And I just want to say to you guys, there's always some sadness in closing out old cycles. Pisces always has like the leaves falling from the tree, or it's just, a sad song that makes you cry. But I encourage you guys to do those things right now, because you really need to feel those cycles ending. So, when we make time for that, when we make time to respect that we feel things about things ending, and that we're, having all these feelings at the end of a yearly cycle, that's a time sacrifice that not a lot of people make, but what you sacrifice for, you make sacred. So if you guys have had losses over the past year, if you guys have had, things that you are letting go of, maybe happily, but maybe, with some melancholy, really take time to do that for yourself, because, nurturing those feelings I can promise you in a few weeks is really going to clear you out, wrapping up those cycles, finding closure to those cycles is really going to benefit you as as the spring comes along, the first day of spring and the spring equinox. Really just like get you set up for new beginnings. Come, you want to come up? My puppy's been a little sick, so I've been having a little forlorn at my house too. You got neutered. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people have a lot of medical things, and that's also indicative of Pisces too, having a lot of sicknesses. But those sicknesses that we have are, our heads up that things have to change. So I'm just going to ask you guys, what are you going to change? What are you going to put your intentions towards changing on Wednesday, the new moon in Pisces? Because you have so much energy at your back with Jupiter and Neptune and the sun. You have divine support right now to change the things that you want to and the things that you need to. And you won't have an opportunity like this for a really long time. So I encourage you to go into it, flow into it, feel into it. With Pisces, it's all about, listening to what your internal self is saying. It's also the joy of Saturn. 12th house is the joy of Saturn. So it's not like you can do that and be out, having fun every day. Saturn loves solitude. And right now it's a really time to connect with yourself, finding completion to the old cycles, and really setting your intentions on Wednesday about your new cycles. I will also say that it is Wednesday, the new moon in Pisces also lands on Ash Wednesday, which of course is a time of giving things up, of clearing out your system. So really any kind of cleanse, especially if it's like for a spiritual reason, is going to be so healthy for you. Changing your diet, this physical body that we do have, our meat suit, as I so much call it. No, it's not our soul, but it is what allows us to function and experience the material world, the material realm. And Pisces is all about both the material and the spiritual realm. And I can tell you from experience that when I need to do readings, or when I need to channel, and when I need to get into kind of my Pisces house, my physical being has to be clear. Like I have to go into tea mode, and I have to go into like a lot of fruits and vegetables, and just like pure foods that are really good for me. So I feel like a lot of you guys will be going into that, not for just for physical gain, but more because it makes you feel better, because it makes your like body and soul feel better. So I encourage you to do all the Pisces things that are going to make you guys feel so much better. And just, you guys got this. Things have been rocky. Things have been heaved up. But what we can do as individuals to get ourselves healthy for the next cycle is going to help the whole collective, because our energy brings energy to everybody else. So if we can be healthy enough to stay calm, to make the decisions that we need to make, to go out and be our personal best in the coming spring, that's going to help everybody. I have tons of love and prayers for all of you struggling with any kind of things that you have a hard time letting go of right now. I have so much love for that. And the places in the world, the Ukraine and the places where people don't feel like they have their own choices, and that havoc is going on around them. I'm just sending so much love to that. for all those people. And I encourage you to do the same. And, we can send love and think of people globally, but what can you do in your own world to totally change someone's life? Maybe you can smile at somebody, or maybe you can, pick up the groceries that somebody dropped, or maybe you can just be a genuine, nice human being. And I can encourage you to do that, because that is going to be all the difference. It takes one person, one ripple at a time, to make both war and peace. So I love you guys, and I will see you soon.